Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to start a new vlog. It is the 2nd of February and I'm going to try to do a weekly vlog. I did the last vlog that I posted was pretty dreadful. I'm going to hopefully try to make this vlog a little bit better. And in terms of just like overall content and also reading wise, I would just come out of a massive reading slump, and I'm hoping that February is just going to be nice and chill. I'm going to read a bunch of good books and we're all going to be nice and happy. I have just finished A Discovery of Witches. Finished this last night and I am so unimpressed by this book. I'm so disappointed. It is such a long book. It's almost 700 pages long and I don't really care about the love story. I think the only good part about this book was like the last 30% or like maybe 20%, maybe 15% of the book where they're talking about time traveling and everything. Like that's kind of getting a little bit interesting for me now. But at the same time, I just feel like this is not it. I don't know why it's missed the mark for me, but it has. Definitely a couple books though, however, that I do want to read this month that I haven't really looked at all since I got them. And it is the Love Hypothesis and Love Theoretically, books from Ali Hazelwood. Now, so many people love these books and I'm really hoping to love them, and I really just want to read a nice romance that doesn't have dark romance. There's no like fantasy involved. I mean, maybe these are fantastical, I don't really know. I don't think they are. I just want to read something that's light and sweet, potentially funny, easy to read, and it's just going to be enjoyable for me and get me into that, you know, make me feel those warm, fuzzy feelings. Hey everyone, so it's the next day and I just want to give a quick update on the Love Hypothesis. I read this last night and I'm on page 102. It's actually kind of cute. I kind of like it. I can see why people, I've seen so many YouTubers comment about Ali Hazelwood and her tall men, and I can absolutely see what they're talking about because she does go on about how tall and broad he is. So far, it is kind of what I wanted. It's just light and easy to read. Not getting the feelings yet of like that, you know, that ooh, that feeling. But I mean, I'm kind of getting there, but I'm not there yet. If you haven't read this book, which I think a lot of people have, basically Olive is a PhD candidate and she's in Stanford, and like her reason to become a PhD, like get a doctorate, is actually really like amazing because she's trying, like she lost her mom to pancreatic cancer, so she's trying to find a way for doctors to find the cancer before it basically is too late. And she ends up right at the beginning of the book kissing this professor randomly, and the professor is obviously our main love interest, Adam. But she ends up like kissing him randomly because she has this silly idea that if her best friend sees her kissing him, then her best friend will think that she no longer cares about her ex-boyfriend or like ex-fling or whatever, because her best friend really fancies her ex and wants to go with him, but she doesn't want to break the girl code or whatever. So she thinks that if she kisses somebody randomly that it's going to be fine, but she ends up kissing this guy who is actually a professor, and you know, it's just like a spur of the moment thing. He was walking by and she grabs him and kisses him, and then there's this whole little sort of interaction with them, and then, you know, I think instantly he is the guy in the prologue. He is absolutely 100%. She doesn't realize it, and I don't know, I won't like go through everything, but it's just really cute, and you can tell I feel like he really likes her, but he doesn't want to like admit it, but she's so oblivious to it. So it's silly, but I'm really enjoying it. So it's like everything that I wanted this book to be, and like the type of book and feelings that I want to be feeling right now, especially like moving into Valentine's Day. It's the 3rd of February, so you know, I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know, it's quite sweet. So I don't know, I read quite a bit. I think I could probably finish this by today. I don't know, but I don't want to rush through it too much. I just want to savor it and enjoy it. I haven't been tabbing it at all. There hasn't really been any specific moment for me to tab. I don't really tab these types of books all too much unless there's something specific that I want to go back to and think about. But yeah, I'm excited to read this and then also the next one, because I think the next one everybody likes. So okay, it's the next day. I actually finished The Love Hypothesis last night, so I read it in one day. Was it one day or 2 days? I read it in 2 days, right? A full 24 hours, let's say a full 24 hours. I have kind of some issues with this book. I feel like I'm gonna have a hot take on this because I'm gonna go against the popular opinion. I gave this a 3-star, but ultimately it's like a low 3-star too, because there was some really icky stuff in this book, and I'm not gonna lie, the book actually had me going for, I want to say, like the first 2/3 of the book. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm invested. She's a little young. I mean, you follow, what's her name, Olive. I think I already mentioned she is a PhD candidate. You're following her, and she is like a young 26, 27-year-old. I think that's like how old she is. She just seems a little immature for that age. I remember when I was that age, and I don't think I was like her. I don't know, maybe I was. And Adam is 34 and I am 34. So like I'm the same age as Adam, and all she does is like joke about his age, how he's an old man and like he's gonna be, you know, his crooked back and all this stuff. And you know, that you can get that joke maybe 1 or 2 times and it's funny, but she does it like 5 times in the book or something. And I'm just thinking, gosh, I mean, this is like, why would you harp on about the age difference? It's like the age difference is what it is. It's not massive, but it also is not small. It's just there is an age difference. And the more you joke about it in the book and it's not funny, the more me as a reader, I'm thinking, why is he with this girl? Anyway, so they're obviously fake dating. This is the fake dating trope. And the reasons for her to do it are really stupid. And the reasons for him to do it also kind of like, okay, fine. I mean, it's kind of far-fetched, but you know, you go into the book, you know it's a romance, you know it's silly, and you just like, you fully invest your time in this story. So that's what I did. However, aside from that, I have issues with her friends as well. I think her friends are actually terrible people, especially her best friend. Not so much her roommate, but her best friend, Anne, or I don't know how you say her name because there's an H at the end. She, I don't think, is a very good friend because she's always dissing on their relationship. And if you are going to be supportive of your best friend, you wouldn't do that. I can get like the initial shock of her dating. The professor would be like, oh shit, you know, like ha ha ha, make jokes about it. But after a while, you wouldn't really do that with your best friend. And if she really was her best friend, she would really know all the nitty gritty details. And it just seems like these two don't even talk to each other. I have a cold, so like, you know, I'm like, anyway. So, okay, there's that. And I can get past all of that. What I did not like, and I don't know if this is just because of my age, I do not know. Maybe this is what people like these days, and I know this was like a TikTok book and stuff, but when they actually get together, which is like in the 3rd part of the book, you know, it starts off nice, it's kind of like, you know, hot and steamy, and then like in the middle of it, I feel like it's like totally torn apart because they talk about how, like, it's honestly so cringy. I don't even want to talk about it, but they talk about like how small she is and like, you know, like tight. Like, I don't want to say the words. It's so like, it's so cringy. Like the way it's written, it is so beyond cringy. And then there's something, like there was a part, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I should say this and put it out on the internet, but like he like literally like, I won't say it, but like if you know, like it's just so, it's so icky. Like it really turned me off. Like, and I just was like reading, I was like, oh, okay. And maybe it's just not for me. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I feel like, no, because in some books it's not cringy. Like this was just cringy. And I'm so annoyed with it because it's everything that I kind of wanted and it ended up being super cringy. And it really threw me off. Like the 3rd act really threw me off. And I would have given this probably a 4-star. 3.5, 4-star, but it's like a low 3. I mean, I did read it super fast. I don't think it qualifies for a 2 or 2.5. So I'm giving it a 3. But I do have issues with it. I have issues with the fact that going on about the age thing, and then just the whole sex scene was just really, really just put me off. And also, I don't like Olive. Like, she needs to grow up. Like, she should have told him so many things and she didn't. And I don't like that in books. I also feel like when you have a female lead character, I don't like how a lot of authors make them this docile creature, or make them this girl who can't speak her mind, or wants to appease everyone and stuff, because honestly, that's not how women are. At least a lot of women actually do speak their mind, and they are independent, and they are fiery, and men love that. But you can also still be sweet. Like, there's like multiple sides to a woman, but I think Olive is one-dimensional. And obviously this is like the sunshine grumpy trope as well. However, I don't really find him all that grumpy. He just seems to be an adult, and she seems to be a kid. Like, that for me, that's how it's written. Like, he seems to actually just be a functioning, functioning. Doesn't really socialize that much, but he has some good friends in his life, and academically, he is like at the top of his game. You know, he is not the nicest person to his students, but you know what? He's a 34-year-old man. He is an adult, and she is a 26-year-old child. Like, she just seems like she's like a 19-year-old. I mean, no offense to 19-year-olds out there, but she does seem to me to be more that age, as opposed to heading in, like, getting closer to her 30s. So I had issues with this book, which is really unfortunate, because I don't want to poo-poo on every book that I read, and I am. And I did tab like a few things, because there was some, it wasn't like moments in the book that I liked, but there was like a line that I liked, and I was like, oh, that's quite a nice reference. But I don't even know if I would reread this, because it just seemed too young for me. Maybe that's the issue, or the character was too young. And so I'm kind of nervous about going into Love theoretically, because it probably is going to be the same thing. I don't know. I was kind of worried while I was reading, because I didn't read the back of this. I was worried while I was reading this it was going to be like one of these series where the characters in this book will appear in this book. But it seems like this is about Elsie and someone called Jack, which did not appear in this book. So I'm pleased with that. It's not one of these, series book with all the same characters, because if this was going to be about her best friend, I would have switched off, because I didn't like her best friend. Hi everyone. I've just been like weeping a little bit. It's the next morning, right? But and I decided to listen to an audiobook because I'm working, because it's a Monday, and I put The Covenant of Water on by LFTFGABBYF, and I started listening to this a few weeks ago, back in January. It's a really, really long book, and the audiobook is like over 20, it's like 30 hours or something. It's crazy, but I have it on 1.2 speed, and I just finished chapter 8, and I'm like crying, because oh my gosh, like, this book I think is gonna just make me cry. Which is good, because I want to read to feel stuff, but I think anything when it comes to children and bad stuff happening, it's always gonna make me just crumble. So yeah, I just thought I would turn the camera on and show you my weepy face. Oh gosh. I'm gonna listen to The Covenant of Water still. It's not really romance, it's more like historical fiction, sort of. I think it follows 3 different generations. But once I'm done with Love theoretically, I think I'm gonna go into From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata, because I've heard nothing but good things about this author, and I have read one of her books, which was Rhythm, Chord, and Malakin, which wasn't all that great. I think I'd give it a 3.5. But I think this one is a little bit more highly rated, or rated a little bit higher than that one, a little bit more well known. And I've had it for a little bit. It's like figure skating, I think. That's kind of all I know about it. So I'll probably start reading this tonight, because yeah, I just want to read romance books at the moment. I was also on Amazon last night and I was just filling up my basket. I didn't buy anything, but it's like all romance. Hey guys, it's several days later. I think I completely forgot that I was doing a vlog or trying to do a vlog. I have been reading though, and honestly it's just been a really dull week. I've just been working and not much has happened. So it's not like you missed anything, but today is Thursday. It is 9 o'clock and I have been reading. So I do have a little bit of an update. I think the last time I spoke to you, I said that I was gonna read from Lukov with Love. Alright, I'm just jumping in here because I have been editing this video and I've been trying desperately to find a clip where I'm talking about love theoretically, and I don't have it anywhere. I don't have it on my phones, I don't have it on my camera. So whether I actually filmed it or not, I do remember talking about this book, but I can't find the clip. So I'm going to talk about it. It obviously is several days later. I'm editing this video. I'm trying to push this video out, and so it's all just silly. But anyway, I did read this book. I just never told you about it. So I'm going to slip it in here now before I start talking about a completely different book. But I didn't even tap this book. I just really hated this book. But I didn't hate it as much as I hated The Love Hypothesis. Now I know I say in this vlog that I gave them like 3 stars. I gave this a 3-star, the same as The Love Hypothesis. I was reading this book and I really enjoyed it actually. I thought, oh, this is gonna be good, this is gonna be good, but then it just went downhill. It went downhill. I got the ick. I thought it was really cringy. I really didn't like it. And honestly, it's been a few days. I couldn't even possibly tell you what actually happens in this story. It was in my mind. It's gone out now. So I hate to break it to you, but I think Ali Hazelwood is not for me. I did have a few of her books on my TBR, especially the, what's it called? The one with the werewolf. I don't think I'm going to be picking that one up, sadly, because I just don't think she's writing for me, which is absolutely fine. But I wanted to just talk about this because I did actually read it. I just never spoke to you about it, but I gave it a 3. I think it's more like a 2.75 and the other one's more like a 2.5, but I gave them both 3 on Goodreads. So basically this is about Elsie, who is part of a fake dating app, and she is fake dating his brother. I don't know why this clip has disappeared because I swear I spoke about this in a video. And at the same, and she's completely lied about who she is to obviously the brother. They're not supposed to know she's a physicist or anything like that, and she doesn't remember what he does. Even though the brother told her what he does, she didn't remember, and he's actually a physicist as well. He's a physicist of like an experimental physicist, and she is a theory physicist. Oh my god, it's too many words. I can't. So there's like this rivalry, I guess, between the two groups. Who knew? And it's kind of fun. I mean, obviously I do like, there's like a lot of science in these books. I do appreciate that. I do actually like the STEM theme that runs through her books. I really do like that. I just wish the romance wasn't so cringy. I do feel like the romance is just not for me. It just feels really weird and naive and just kind of icky. But anyway, regardless of that, I thought the story concept was silly, but that didn't put me off at all. It's just like pure romance for me. And yeah, I ended up really disappointed in this book because I think it starts off okay, and even by the middle of the book I was enjoying it, but I remember that I felt the same way with The Love Hypothesis as well. So there's just something about as soon as they actually like get together and they have the romance gets intimate, it just gets really icky. I do think I liked him more than I liked the other one. I can't remember the name of the other guy. I think it's Adam. Yeah, he's called Jack. The other one's called Adam. I actually liked him more in this book than I liked Adam, but I still found them both a little creepy, and I didn't like the girl, so it was just hard for me to really rate this book any higher than what I did because of those issues. Okay, anyway, back to me in the past. by Mariana Zapata, which I actually have read now. So I don't remember when I started this. Was it Sunday? Was it Monday? I could not tell you. And you don't know either, but I know today's Thursday and I haven't really updated you in a few days. I finished this last night. Didn't take me too long. I think I read it in like 2 days, I think, or maybe 2.5. I don't even know. I don't know. But even though it's quite a big book for like a romance, it is like almost 500 pages. That is like a pretty hefty book. And I only did like 2 little tabs. I feel I did more than that. Oh yeah, I have one here, but it's kind of disappearing for some reason. I don't think it's like the best romance book that I have read, but it's the best one I've read this year so far. I did prefer it to Love Theoretically and The Love Hypothesis, so that's good. The more I think about those 2 books that obviously I read at the beginning of this vlog, the more I think that they really are low 3s. I mean, I really probably should score them like 2.5 and 2.75. I still think The Love Hypothesis was the worst. I just didn't really, I don't know. I think the male character was kind of okay. I didn't really like the female character or the plot. But anyway, let's talk about this one. Let's talk about this one because this was sweet. I thought this was sweet, and this is a real like slow burn. And so if you want like a lot of steamy scenes and things like that, this is not the book for you, because there's just one scene and it's like, you know, spoiler, all the way at the end of the book. So it's just not, so it's not going to be one of those that you just like have them all over the time. So it's not going to be, it's kind of different to Love Theoretically, which, you know, that kind of happens like towards the middle of the book, and The Love Hypothesis I think is around the same, I would say. This was cute. So this follows Jasmine, who is an ice skater, and she does pairs, but she's a very good skater, but she's had really bad luck with her partner, like her ice skating partners, and she basically like got dumped by a partner, not in a romantic way, but just in a professional way. And she's been out of work, out of the season. She's never won a competition. Even though she's good, she has quite a bad attitude, which, you know, I kind of like that she is really headstrong and stubborn. I do like those type of characters, but I think in this book, it was a little bit overboard. The male love interest is Yvonne, and he is world champion. He's won loads and loads of championships, and for whatever reason, I won't really get into it, they end up pairing together for like 1 year only. They're gonna, you know, skate together and stuff, and this is really good for her, but at the same time they absolutely like despise each other and hate each other, even though she's best friends with his sister and they've known each other a long time, since they were young. So straight off the bat, it's like enemies to lovers. It's a very slow burn. I think the bickering that they have in the book, some of it is cute and some of it is just too much. I think definitely in the middle, like definitely in the start, it's very childish in their bickering, and it's just all the time. But yeah, I think like halfway through the book, which is when I like just tabbed those 2 little pages. I don't even know why I tabbed those pages, to be fair, but it kind of stops being so silly, and I don't know, I just got into it. It just kind of it didn't give me like the full tingles. I wasn't kicking my feet. I was thinking, oh, should I give this a 5-star? But it's not a book that I love. I'm going to give it a 4-star. I think it definitely has flaws. It's way too long. There's way too much in the book that doesn't really need to happen. And there is a lot of repetition, but I enjoyed it. So it was a fun read, and even though it was almost 500 pages, I read it reasonably fast and I got through it, and it didn't feel like a chore to read. So I finished that one, and that's really fun. I also, and actually I do think I added a clip, but I started reading, and I left the cover of this, damn it, I left it in the other room, but I started reading, what is this? A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. This book is so pretty. This is the Fairy Loot edition. It is gorgeous, this book. It's just gorgeous. And I thought, I'm going to read a pretty book in the lead up for Valentine's Day. Why not? I feel nice and girly with this. It is gorgeous. And so I read a little bit of this and I did tab it, but you can't see because there's roses all over it. But I'm on chapter 4 and I've only read 37 pages. That's fine. It is what it is. But so far in this book, what are their names? I don't have the sleeve and I can't, Nymph. Neve. Okay, so I think her name is Neva. It's one of these Irish names that I always pronounce wrong, but I think it's Neva. So she is a dressmaker or just a clothes maker, and this is basically like a Regency style tale. So I don't know what year we're in or anything, but just know that it's definitely like Regency, and there is fantasy elements in here because they do talk about like magic, and so she's able to weave her clothes with some sort of magic. And she is only 18 years old and she's been doing this for a few years, and she is called by the royal family of some made up place, I don't know, I can't remember where it is, to be the dressmaker or the clothes maker, I guess. I don't know exactly how you would describe it, for the groom. I think it's just for the groom. I mean, I don't know. The groom is 18 years old too, and he is going to be our love interest. So I don't know if she's going to break up marriage or something. I'm not quite sure. I think he is the groom. And then, so she's just met him. She's just gone from a boat. She's just got to their court, and she's been thrown into a room with the king and the prince. The king being the prince's brother. And that's kind of all that's happened so far. And she's met with some gossiper. I can't remember his name either, but I think this is going to be a cute book. So I decided to start reading this, and I started reading these two actually at the same time, and I just ended up reading this more than this. So now that I've finished this book, I think I'm going to go into this. Kind of gave me Emily Wilde vibes, just in the way that it's written. It's not journal form or anything, but I don't know, just kind of gave me that feeling. So hopefully I enjoy it. It is YA, but I don't really mind. It's such a pretty book. It is so gorgeous. So I wanted to read it. So I think I'll probably just read this and maybe end the vlog. I don't really know if I'm gonna, because it's Thursday today. It's February 8th. And yeah, I kind of wanted to, this would be like my lead up to Valentine's Day. So it's kind of getting me in the mood, I think it is. So I do also have all 3 of the, I don't know what this series is called. This is by Lucy Score, and it is the Knockmount series. So I think this is the first one, and then we have Things We Left Behind and Things We Hide from the Light. So I might try this as well. I do want to finish another book, so because I already started this and I'm kind of in the mood to like read the Regency vibes, I think I'll go into that. I actually have no idea what these books are about. I saw that they were popular and I bought them and I hold them, and they've just been sitting on my bookshelf and I do not know what they're about. Obviously I know that they're romance. I think they're like, there's something weird about them though, like that they're not like, like happy-go-lucky, like there's some like trauma or something. Okay, this is bearded bad boy Barber Knox prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee, alone. And then you have Naomi wasn't running away from her wedding. She was riding to the rescue of her estranged twin to Knockmount, Virginia, a rough around the edges town where disputes were settled the old-fashioned way, with fists and beer. Usually in that order. So too bad for Naomi, her evil twin hasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car crash, Tina leaves her something unexpected. The niece Naomi didn't know she had. Now she's stuck in town with no car, no job, no place, no home, with an 11-year-old going on 30 to take care of. Oh, okay. There's a reason Knox doesn't do complications or high-maintenance women, especially not the romantic ones. Since Naomi's life imploded right in front of him, the least he can do is help her out. Just as soon as she stops getting into new trouble, he can leave her alone and get back to his peaceful, solitary life. It's probably Grumpy Sunshine. This one is, there was only one woman who could see me free, and I would rather set myself on fire than ask Lone Wolf for anything. Pretty silly, but yeah, so that's kind of where I am. I'm definitely in a romance bug, but you know me, I'm very picky about my romances, and if I get the ick, I get the ick. Luckily for me, I did not get the ick with this book. So that's why I rated it so high, even though it's not like the best book ever. It didn't give me the ick. So I liked both characters. A little bit annoying with the back and forth and very repetitive, but I was in the mood for it. So yeah, I'm going to continue reading this tonight, but I also might start this just to see how I go. And then if I like it, move on to this one. I mean, this is only supposed to be a weekly vlog, but it still hasn't been a week yet. It's Thursday. I started on Saturday. I think it was Saturday. So we'll see. Maybe I can finish another book. We'll see. I have a pretty busy day tomorrow, but I have been reading quite a bit actually the last couple of days. So I do plan to read tonight, and tomorrow's Friday. I could probably read then. So yeah, maybe I'll end it on Sunday. I don't know. These vlogs, it's not very interesting, but it is Friday. It is almost 5 o'clock. The sky is looking oh so pretty. You can see that. Actually, I'll get closer. You can see just breaking through the clouds. A little bit windy and rainy these last couple days, but it actually was looking really nice. And it looks good now, so hopefully we have a nice weekend. But anyway, let's talk about this book. So I read a little bit more of this. I actually didn't go into the other book at all by Lucy Score. Might try that today, but yeah, I'll probably end the vlog tomorrow or Sunday. My son is in the background if you can hear him. Gosh, look at this lighting. It's just quite fun. Anyway, so actually, this is probably a better view for you to see how pretty this book is. It is so pretty with my nails. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, anyway, so I got to page 111, so chapter 10. I think I was on, what, 4 yesterday? So I read a little bit, not too much. I broke the 100 page, marker. I feel like, once you get like past the first 100 pages, you kind of know, at least for me, if you're gonna like the book or not. Most of the time. I think for this one, ultimately it will probably be like a 3-star, 3.5, unless I start kicking my feet with glee. I don't really know if it's gonna change all that much. Gosh, this lighting is a little bit funny. Okay, so we follow Neva. Please correct me if I'm saying that wrong. I know I'm being ignorant and I should look it up. But I've had a really long week and a long day, and I'm tired and I have a bit of a headache. But we're gonna have pizza. It's Pizza Friday, so my partner's just gone out and got the pizza, so I'm just waiting around for it. Okay, so I don't know what I said yesterday. She's a dressmaker, so she's making the formal wear for all of the sort of wedding engagements, because there's so many of them, because he's a prince and he's marrying this other woman that they're not marrying for love or anything. It's just a marriage of convenience and sort of more political marriage, and he's being pushed to do that by his brother. There is some underlining things happening with the brother, and I'm not entirely sure why the brother is pushing it so much, but I think we'll find out. There's also a whole thing where it's kind of like Gossip Girl, where I never was a fan of Gossip Girl, but I watched it and I kind of know the concept of it. And it's kind of like there's this, in the newspaper, the local paper, in like the tabloid section, there's like a gossip area. And this gossip person, the gossip person is called Lovelace. And they're just the gossip of the town, and they talk about all of the things that are happening in the palace and especially the king, but they spoke about the prince and also Neva, because she was on the balcony with the prince, and the gossip is he was floundering around with some lady while he's supposed to be marrying some other one. It's so silly. It's silly, but it's kind of campy. I don't know, I kind of like it. So yeah, I read that. And already there's like tension between her and Kit, who is the prince. Now I'm kind of having to forget that they are 18 years old, because for me that was, it's just very young. It's very young, and so I'm kind of in my brain, I'm like, okay, maybe they're like 25. Like that makes a little bit more sense for me at the moment, but it's fine. So yeah. There's a little bit of flirtation. I mean, not even flirtation, it's just like enemies to lovers. I said that yesterday. But you can kind of tell that he, I don't know, it seems to be that he doesn't really dislike her all that much, but she's like still grumpy with him and stuff. And that is always what happens with love, like haters to lovers. Enemies to lovers. I feel like the female's always the last one to suddenly be like, oh wait, no, you're actually okay. But she hasn't started to talk about how he looks. I imagine he looks like this because the picture is like this. And she's quite pretty as well. So really beautiful pair, beautiful people, and a beautiful book. I think at first, when I first started reading this book, I really liked the language and the writing, but what I read last night was pretty basic and nothing very interesting, so I didn't really tab anything last night. I'm looking forward to reading the rest and obviously finishing this book. And because it is YA, I know there's not going to be like any smut or anything, and I'm actually pleased by that, because it has been like throwing me off and turning me off and giving me the ick, and maybe it's just not for me. I don't know what it is about me, but I just get the ick, massive ick, when it's not written very well. And if it just follows like their romance and the slow burn of it all, then that's kind of what I'm into, because obviously From Luke Off with Love was a slow romance. So we will see. I will read the rest. I wonder if I can finish this tonight. I'll try to finish it tonight, but I'm not going to force myself. I mean, that would be quite a lot to read, like over 200 pages. But it is kind of easy to read, and I did enjoy it, so definitely can make a good dent in it. And if I get to like the 250 mark today, it's like 350 pages. So if I get to 250, then I'll definitely finish it, and I'll just push through. We'll see. But yeah, I might end the vlog once I'm done with that, or I might start the Lucy score one. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm looking forward to my pizza tonight. It has been a very long week, a very busy week at work, and I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's Carnival, so I don't know, maybe we'll do something tomorrow. I don't know. If we do, I'll vlog it. If we don't, I won't. So I guess we'll see. All right, I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. It is Sunday. It is, what, the 11th of February? So we have a few more days till, oh no, it can't be the 11th. I think it must be the 12th of February. Anyway, so I'm gonna end the vlog here. I did finish this book, which I don't think you saw the cover of, because obviously I've been showing you without the sleeve, but A Fragile Enchantment. I finished this last night. It's a pretty cute cover, and it is reversible as well. So you can have this cover instead, which is still just as cute. So I thought this was a very sweet book. It's not perfect, but I did find myself enjoying it. I did kind of like the romance, I'm not gonna lie. There was parts of it where I was like, I don't know if I need this, but there's a little bit of like political unrest and things to do with his brother, and you know, this sort of there was definitely parts of the magic that I didn't quite understand. Like, he is able to control basically flowers and vines and weeds and just like earth in general, and it doesn't really go into detail like how that is and why no one else really does that but him. So I wish that they maybe expand a little bit on the magic, because I wasn't quite understanding it. And also she has magic. She's able to weave her magic into the clothing that she makes and put enchantments on it. And basically when you wear the clothing, she can make you feel a certain way depending on what enchantment she puts on the gown or the jacket or whatever. And she can even make you seem like invisible and stuff. So I thought that was all interesting, but it was just very like glimpses of the magic and like how it works in the world. And I do find myself thinking, well, how, like, I was like, okay, fine. I was trying to just understand it and take it as it is, but I didn't quite really understand the magic all that well because it wasn't really explained. But the love story was really cute, and it did get a little steamy, but nothing explicit, but definitely a little steamy. So I thought it was very sweet. It was that typical, you know, sunshine, grumpy vibe, and enemies to lovers. Well, you know, when obviously they end up realizing that they don't hate each other, and actually it's the opposite. So yeah, it was sweet at the end. It ended the way I thought it was going to end. It was fine. I am going to give it a 4-star, but I am rounding up. I think it really is like a 3.5, 3.75, but I can't do that on Goodreads. So I did give it a 4, which is quite a high rating for the book itself. But, you know, I liked From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata, and I gave that a 4, and I think that's also kind of a low 4. So I think they're kind of in the same ballpark, completely different stories in that obviously this is fantasy. You know, you have to suspend your disbelief in, you know, some of the things that happen. But I thought it was nice. There's a lot of LGBTQ plus like references, more like queer references actually, to be fair. A lot of touch on that. They're actually both of them, I believe, are bisexual or they're fluid or whatever, because they have had situations where they have fancied men and women, and so that was pretty cool actually. And then there's also a lot of side characters as well with that, so there's a lot of representation in this book. Also, she has a chronic illness, so that's kind of referenced. You don't really understand really the full detail what it is, because it's more like a magical chronic illness, but it's all in her family, and it is, you know, it is spoken about quite a lot in the book, and, you know, certain things happen and whatnot. So there's definitely like a lot of things in this book, and it's just such a small book too. You'd think, you know, you couldn't fit everything in. It's only 370 pages, but I thought actually the length was great, because normally these type of books are what, 500-600 pages, and I think that would have bored me to tears. So I think the length was perfect. It just kind of got to the point. It wasn't too slow, and yeah, I thought it was good actually. I was actually surprised. I didn't expect to like this as much as I did, so I thought it was good. I did end up starting Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score this morning. I'm on page 78, so it's like in the middle of the chapter because I had to do something, and this is really fun. I'm liking it so far. It's not like young 20-year-olds. The male character is in his 40s, and I imagine the female character is in her 30s. It hasn't really said how old she is, but definitely more like what I'm interested in reading, because it's unfortunately closer to my age range than a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old, which these are 18-year-olds, and I was like, I had to like pretend not to remember that, but they are like 18-year-olds in that book. I was like, I felt so old reading it, but this one is more my age range, and, you know, a little bit older, but still like more my age range definitely, and I very much enjoyed the vibe so far. So it's basically about Naomi, who has a twin sister. Twin sister is, from the sounds of it, just horrible. And she's caused a lot of issues in this small town in Virginia. And Naomi is also a runaway bride. She just left her fiance at the altar, and she's gone to help her sister because she got a phone call like, meet me at 7 at this cafe. And then her sister's gone, stolen her car, dumped her daughter on her. So she's stuck now with 11-year-old. And, you know, she's in this town. She doesn't know, she has no job, because obviously she quit her job. I don't know, she was about to go on a honeymoon. It's just all like a mess. It is a mess. Her life has been thrown upside down, and that's fine. I kind of enjoy that. I mean, I do feel like it's a little convenient. Like the first guy that she meets is obviously the male lead, and he so happens to be, you know, have a grandmother that has a place for her to stay because the motel was broken. And like, it's just all very convenient. And I'm thinking, if this really happened in real life, why wouldn't she go back to where she used to live and with the child? You know what I mean? Why would she stay in this hometown there? It's during the summer, so she doesn't need to stay in this hometown. So she's not like her niece is not in school. So why wouldn't she just go back to where she normally lives, where her parents are? I mean, I know her parents, I don't know. I just thought that was a little bit weird because I think she's from Long Island or something. I don't know. So regardless of that, I have been reading this, but I am going to end the vlog here. I might pick up the vlog back up. And I am probably just going to keep reading this for the next few days, but I didn't want to keep filming. I've really been enjoying like all these romance books. Obviously it started with The Love Hypothesis, Love Theoretically, and things like that. And I'm really glad that it's gotten better than those two books, because even though these books haven't been like amazing, they really have been better than those. I think those books, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, they're just too young for me. I think that if I were a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, 22-year-old, and this is no diss on obviously 20-year-olds because I used to be one. If I were that age now, I probably would enjoy those books a little bit more. Because I don't know, I've just changed, and I just found them really childish. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I'm not sure if it was all that entertaining. I did read quite a lot of books this last week, and I'm definitely out of my reading slump, and I'm so happy about that because I was getting really upset about still being in the reading slump. So I'm very happy I'm not in the reading slump. I'm gonna go do my makeup now. You just have a cup of coffee, and I will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Bye.